Hello, hello. Poncho Mango here. Got another deck for you guys. A Tempo Vitruvian deck centered around Gust. Um, so yeah, Gust is a really fun card to play, but it does have some weaknesses. It's pretty good. It's very good with Fireblaze Obelisk. But even on its own, it's a very good card. But it does have some weaknesses. The first one is obviously it's a Blood Surge, so you don't get to have it every turn. Um, and then the other one is its spawns are not easy to control and play around, because having two spawns to try to manipulate with RNG is a lot harder than one spawn with Latigris which is very similar to it. Um, Not only that, but the Wind Dervishes are obviously ephemeral, so if you don't get to use them on that turn, then you lose them instead of the Cub that you can at least save for a following turn. And then finally, Gust suffers a little bit with Xerix BBS. If Xerix is nearby Gust, then or close to it, then the BBS can mess up the spawn RNG once again, which is really hard to play around. But Xerix is definitely necessary to play with Gust, in my opinion. They have Dervish synergy for cards like Dunecaster and Fireblaze Obelisk, and Xerix is just by far the most aggressive vet general, and so for Gust, that needs to be it. You can try to play around that by playing Gust out of range of Xerix, so that the spawn isn't not messed up. And to help with that, you want to play a lot of minions so that you've got various spots to play your Gust, and what better than to play the Golem package, of course. Just broken stuff with it, just more standard Vitruvian stuff. We've got Sensoral Reader, Blood of Eris, First Wishes, Blood Tier Alchemist for tempo. We got one Spelljammer to help with card draw, and it's a good tempo card. I'd like to have a second one or even third one, but the deck is pretty compact because we have two Cryptos to try to solve the Gust problem of having BBS online. You can do two things with Crypto. You can play your Gust and BBS, and then your opponent they'll sometimes choose to ignore the Gust since you don't have BBS up next turn, and they'll try to deal with it the following turn. If they don't have a good answer to it, then Crypto can just come in and have another round. Or on 9 mana, you can combo with Gust BBS, Crypto BBS, and have 8 Dervish spawns, which is pretty good. And then finally, we have one of Nimbus, which I really like. It's an alternate win condition, basically, to Gust, and it just wins matchups. May struggle with. It's good against Linar, obviously. It's good against Songhai as well, and it's good against Magmar with First Wish. So yeah, this is the deck. It's pretty aggressive, but it does have some value cards as well, which is what I really like to have in my decks. So I've got a few games to show you. First game, I'm up against Snowy Onion, and he seems to be playing Ox, right? 6 cards in hand as Kalios. So I'm gonna want to be aggressive. Definitely gonna look for early tempo with golems and stuff. So I replace a Blood Tier, which is not great, and I replace a Dunecaster. I get my Blood Tier back, which it's okay, but it's weak to AoE, and Kalios has a lot of AoE, so it's not amazing. Kalios, I have to play Crypto turn 1, but it's an okay play because Ox doesn't really have many ways to, well, clear a 2 health minion on turn 1. They might have Maw. That dies to my general, so it's not that good. And they could have Jux, but it's pretty rare to see Ox decks with Jux. So I don't get punished. And I can play my BBS this turn, as well as a Fireblaze, which is going to be very good. A backline threat against Ox is what you like to see. And so I decide to go on the tile with my Crypto and BBS first, because that way the spawn is always out of range of Kalios, and it's a 1 in 8 to be in range of the Rust Crawler. But even if it is, at least my Dervish will have 3 attack, right? I really don't want Kalios to be able to punch it. And then I play Fireblaze, and I play it out of range of Lightbender. My opponent can chain a 1-drop and Lightbender, but that's less likely. So, and I choose to play Fireblaze near the top, so that it's a little more aggressive, right? If my opponent wants to grab the tile that they turtled for, then my Dervish spawn is most likely going to be able to connect with something. So yeah, I could have played it down here and be more passive, but I wanna be aggressive. I wanna deal damage to this guy. So they do grab the tile with the Rust Crawler. And they choose to play Scorn, which on its own is not great, but with the Blood tier that they're going to play, they get to clear something, which is pretty good. They decide to clear my Crypto, which I find odd because my Dervish lives and has 1 more attack, but I think they did it to have this specific positioning, and the Crypto not being able to trade in the Blood tier. And so here I can try to play Reader and Reader the Scorn, but it's not great in my opinion because my opponent can clear the Reader on board and as well as cover the sand tile with Kalios at the same time. And since they played the Blood tier, they're gonna get the card back. And so I decide to first wish my Dervish first, because I'm not going to be playing Reader. And I get a Rosh's Curse, which can push damage later on. But I decide to replace it, see if I can get something juicy this turn. And I just decide to go face, basically double Dunecaster on my Dervish and go face. And my opponent's pretty much going to be forced to trade their Scorn into my my Dervish to clear it unless they have Dancing Blades. Specifically, I play my Dunecasters out of range of the Blood tier, so that my opponent needs to blink to make one of those trades, and that means they can't play a 5-drop at the same time. And I just go face with my general and my 8 damage dervish, bring my opponent pretty low pretty quickly. And they do decide to just trade the Scorn, which is pretty good for me because it gets it out of the way. 4 HP minion against my Fireblaze and my dervish, which is a little bit annoying, and 4 attack is pretty good. So I didn't get to trade twice with 2 separate things, so that's good for me. And they play an Orizuru, which is fine. Back away from my Dunecaster. And I replace my Crypto, and I get a Star's Fury. And so I can just play the Spelljammer this turn, as well as my BBS, which refreshes next turn. I BBS first to see where it goes, try to manipulate my positioning, and I want to be aggressive still. He's near the corner, so I want to pressure him into going in the corner and having no escape routes. So I just move in and play this jammer in front of me, playing a bit around AoE, such as Painter, so that it only can hit 2 things, not all 3. I mean, I had my general pretty much in the center always, if I wanted to be aggressive, but this is pretty nice. My opponent can Dancing Blaze the Spelljammer, but there wasn't an aggressive position or spot, where I could have played it. Like, even if I played it here, they could have Dancing Blades and trade with the Orizuru if they really wanted to, and they could still punch one of these and play a Painter next to them. So just right in front, as aggressive as I can. It's good. So my opponent plays Bone Reaper instead. I clear 2 things. Pretty good for them. But I do have the Sense Roll Reader, which I kept from earlier on. And they've got 6 cards in hand, so I can just return that. They've got 6 cards in hand because of my Jammer. Right, Jammer is really good against Ox, especially with an aggressive deck like this one. And especially combined with Vitruvian or Vanner with Hellstone Prison and Breeder. So I get to clear the board, stay aggressive, go face a little bit with my general. And my opponent plays another Bone Reaper with Blink. Attack my Blood Tier, take more face damage. They get to clear 2 things. It's pretty good for them, at least. But they are getting pretty low. I don't have another Blood of Air or Reader, unfortunately. And so I decide to draw cards first, even though I'm not going to be able to play a 5-drop removal. But I try to play around Bone Reaper as much as I can, right? I play my 2 HP Dream Shaper down here, where it's going to be out of range. I play the 3 HP Metallurgist in near the pocket where the Bone Reaper is going to go, but at least it can survive that. And I decide to play Crypto and BBS. If my BBS spawns here, then it closes that pocket and I get the Metallurgist. If it spawns down here, then it can most likely live. So he's got a really good Bone Reaper, obviously, but I get to still summon a lot of things, try to have maybe one, maybe two survive to try to close out the game. And they play Pando Scorn, which clears everything but the Fireblaze, which is pretty good, but I have Blood of Air and Rosh's Gust combined with the Fireblaze boost to finish off this game. So yeah, I think the pivotal turn in this game was definitely double Doomcaster on my Dervish and go face instead of try to reader the Scorn that they had, and not letting my opponent a chance to slow down the game, right? And that's how they're gonna win. So just go face, force them to be on the back foot for the rest of the game. So game 2 against Magmar, which can be against Voth, which can be a hard matchup because my main card, Fireblaze Obelisk, is prone to a removal, Natural Selection, and Plasma Storm. And then my golems also are weak to AoE. I get a Celebrant turn 1, which is good though, because I get to place the tile pretty aggressively. I know Voth's not going to be able to steal it. And if they have Natural Selection, then at least I'll get a tile out of it. So my opponent plays Rancor. It's definitely going to be an aggressive deck. They play it out of range of Reader, so they do a good job. And I choose to play the Blood Tier to ping the Rancor, so if it wants to trade in my face, it dies. As well as steal the mana tile from my opponent, and I play the Fireblaze Obelisk. And my opponent clears the Blood Tier with her face. Get a 3/2 Rancor. But they just trade at face. So that's fine by me. 3 damage is not much. And that possible threat is gone. And they play Mentor and Natural Selection on my Fireblaze Ripperoonies. So I got Rosh's Curse Doomcaster, which is pretty good. I can make a 4 attack thing. You can also clear the Mentor, but I prefer playing Sans Roll Reader and getting a Sand Tile down, which can gain a lot of value and help me win against Voth. And my opponent can step on it and camp the tile, but that means they're going to be far away from my general, and I can start running away from them. So I'm fine if they do that. And they just play the Mentor again, double BBS, and they choose to go face, which is okay because my Reader can't trade on board. But if I had a First Wish, then I could have had a nice trade. But it works out for them. They get to go face with 4 attack. I can Russia's Doomcaster to clear this Mentor and draw cards, but I should have obviously played the Dream Shaper first. I traded my Reader for damage to play around Plasma Storm and Rebuke. And I play around Mecantor hitting my face. They can clear some minions. I don't care too much, even if they clear 3. But at least it won't go face at the same time. And my opponent chooses to play Drogon empty. So I can play Gust here, but I don't have BBS on the following turn, and it's gonna have only 3 attack. So instead I'm just gonna play Nimbus for a switch, which is really good against Voth. Mispositioned it though. I try to play it sort of aggressively against Voth, but I should have just played it here so that Voth can't go there next turn and be close to my general. And I trade a lot of things in to play around more removal, and I play Celebrant behind Voth, sort of, so they can't run away. If that's what they really want to do. I wouldn't really mind it, but they're low, so I may be able to close out the game quickly. The Earth Sphere, though, buy them time, play another Mentor. And so since I didn't play the Nimbus where Voth is last turn, now I need to body block myself in the corner. Thankfully, I have another First Wish to go alongside Gust. And it's a good spot for it because all my, regardless of the DBS spawn, I get both hits in. And I keep Celebrant in Voth's path to run away. Really doesn't do too much. Gets me another Soul Burn Obelisk too. And they kill off the Gust. But that's their whole turn. And I can just kill them with the Dervish spawns that I get, but otherwise I had Gust to finish them off. So yeah, Nimbus putting in the work here. They never had a good Plasma Storm. Game 3. Got a Xerix Mirror. So I got golems, and I got a reader. It's good, but I want to find more golems, more things, maybe. I get a Fireblaze, which is really good against Vitruvian. And I can play Celebrant. I can play the tile because unless they are very lucky with 3 Metallurgists or Celebrant double Metallurgist and another Golem, they can't take both tiles. They can only take one. So I might as well put the other one aggressively so I can try to have one of them for myself in a good spot. And my opponent plays Simulacra Obelisk, which is interesting. So I get to play Dream Shaper, play a Fireblaze on the tile, and first wish my Dream Shaper out of range of his general hit. Playing Fireblaze turn 2 is really good against Vitruvian, right? That's really what you want to be playing is value or good statted 3-drops like Fireblaze, Portal, or like Silverguard Knight. They have a lot of trouble dealing with those. And they can't, so they just play a Baron Shrike, which is cool. I got my hand full, and I don't have golems to play, so I'm just going to. I also don't have a dervish that can attack this turn, so I'm not gonna play another Fireblaze Obelisk yet. I'm going to play Reader, and I have a debate in which of these build minions I want to Reader. Either the Simulacra, which is going to build next turn, or the Baron Shrike, which is going to take another turn to build, but it's going to be a bigger threat. And I'm considering Timekeeper, just in case. They might be able to clear my Fireblaze and have a 5/5 that's a little annoying. And the Simulacra is in the corner, or close to the corner, so its spawns are going to be limited, and it's going to be slow for it to grow up. So that's why I choose to Reader the Baron Shrike. And the Simulacra spawns a building right in the corner, which is perfect for me. So yeah, this Simulacra Obelisk turn 1 positioning, definitely a bit too far away. Up against the wall is mainly the issue. It doesn't get to expand well. And my opponent plays a Wind Slicer, which is cool because it in GG now it discounts build minions as well. So they're playing a mix of obelisks and build minions. That's pretty cool. They trade a little bit, but they're pretty much cornered at this point. I can choke all their obelisk spawns. Choosing to place the Fireblaze on the tile to prevent the spawn is kind of a good idea. And if I dispel it, I dispel the tile, but the Fireblaze has really limited spawns now, and they block 2 of them with Wind Slicer and their General. So I only need to put 2 minions here and here, and I block all their obelisk spawns, and they don't have much going on for them. So that's just what I do. I first swish my Celebrate to trade with the Iron Dervish, but I get another Blood Tear. And so I'm not going to kill this Wind Slicer because it prevents a spawn. I'm going to instead double Blood Tear this this Wind Dervish and use my Celebrant to chip away at the Simulacra. Weaken everything down and prevent his spawns. So my opponent trades a little bit, plays a Spelljammer. And a Lava Storm Obelisk to try to snipe my my Fireblaze, but unfortunately it just dies on board. And so I've got golems here, and I can try to choke out his spawns again. It's a little bit of a tricky turn because of the Celebrant tile spot. I don't get to move my minions onto the tile, pretty much, or my units onto the tile, except this Celebrant. So it makes my positioning a little bit weird because I want to play Celebrant, Golem Metallurgist, and Fireblaze Obelisk. But I can't play... right, I want to play a golem here to prevent the spawns, especially of this building up. I guess it's going to block it, but I can't play Metallurgist and the tile here and have my Celebrant attack the Jammer, so I can't clear the Jammer in any way. But at the same time, it's fine because it's going to block this spawn and draw me cards. And I decide to play my Fireblaze down here. And punch his Fireblaze because it's his biggest threat. And BBS. But yeah, so basically I was trying to fit another Metallurgist in there instead of my BBS. Keep it for maybe Gust if I draw that. But with the mana tile spawns, it was too hard for my brain. I don't know if there was a solution to play double Metallurgist and Celebrant and Fireblaze and cover all the spawns near the obelisks. So my opponent plays Blood of Air on my Fireblaze, trade with my Metallurgist. Try to run away, the BBS, and they kill my Blood Tier with Jammer. And so this turn I have lethal, but I miss it, obviously, because that has become my trademark. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Plus 6 from Blood of Air, Rasha's Curse. Blood of Air gets to clear the body blocker. And it's 17. But I don't see it. I am focused on clearing these obelisks. Which once I get to clear, I'll be so far ahead, and I can clear the board here with Blood of Air, as well as Dunecaster on the Blood of Air Wind Dervish to kill the Simulacra. And my dervishes can trade into the jammer and his dervish. So I get a nice clear here, but miss lethal instead. Or would have preferred lethal instead, sorry. But I box Xerix in with the Dunecaster on his top and the Celebrant below, so that my opponent can't run away from my sand tile and my minions here. They can run away with the Blood of Air. That's pretty much their only thing. A Blood of Air or a clear on my Fireblaze. They just played double Trigon. Defensively, though, they don't body block with them, and I just have lethal on board pretty much. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One off on board, but I have Rasha's Curse and Blood Tier. So yeah, cool deck from my opponent. But the didn't see his hand obviously, but the Simulacra positioning turn 1 really feel like it pivoted that game in my direction. Right, if he had played it slightly more forward, one space forward, it would have been against the wall like that. Alright, so final game. Playing against Kara. Oh, sorry, wrong replay. So we got Kara. Gonna replace the Rush's Curse and the Blood of Air. Don't need them yet. And I get the Blood of Air back, which is annoying. But I get the Fireblaze, which is good. Snow Chaser, turn 1. I don't get a Blood Tier, unfortunately. So I just play my Fireblaze below me. Out of range. And my opponent makes a little mistake here. They could have punched with Snow Chaser first and then played it on the tile. Snipe my tile and get 2 damage face and then play Glacial Elemental. I guess if they really wanted to play Glacial Elemental this far back, then sure, but giving me 6 mana here allows me to play Spelljammer and Rasha's Curse to clear. So it's pretty good for me. So with this Spelljammer, I need to try to watch the Hellstone Prison. I can't play a Nimbus, right, or a Gust with 5 or 6 cards in my hand and get blown out that way. My opponent plays Borean Bear and another Snow Chaser. They play the Borean Bear aggressively, which surprises me a bit because it's right in the middle of all my damage and I can clear it pretty easily. But at least I guess they prevent my Windavicious spawn from going face. And Borean Bear is just 2-drop, so maybe they're trying to buy time with this play. And they BBS too, which helps prevent the clear. 4 HP is a lot harder to deal with for me right now than 3 HP is. But I do have First Wish, and I do have another Fireblaze. So I choose to play a Celebrant and a second Fireblaze Obelisk, and trade my Windurvish into the Borean Bear, trade my face into the Snow Chaser, and keep my Jammer healthy. I could have First Wished the Jammer and traded that and go face for 2 with Xerix, but this way my Jammer is healthy and I get to First Wish my Celebrant instead of my Jammer, so I make more various threats, which is better against Banner. Just gives my opponent a like double polarity Hellstone Prison. And they play Luminous Charge, which gives me a nice Star's Fury lethal pretty quickly with double Fireblaze Obelisk on 22 HP. So kind of nice. Just wanted to show off this this lethal, because even though this is a tempo deck and has nice value generating cards for the late game, or for the later game, it can dish out damage quickly because of these Fireblaze Obelisks. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this video and this deck. I really enjoyed this deck. It's really good. I mean, Vitruvian is pretty good. Golems and Readers, the First Wishes are always good. But the Fireblaze Obelisks, when they stick, they are so good, and they synergize so well with Rosha's Curse, Blood of Eris, and Gust. So, really cool deck, really good. I had a lot of success with it. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon with an Abyssian deck. Bye.